So now Burns and Goons are finally moving vehicles out of the way. So let's see, get out of the reflection of my room. So yeah, as you can see, they're finally getting their vehicles out of the disabled parking area that they blocked purely to harass me. So now I'm going to see if my car is still safe around the corner, and I'm going to park outside the door. Okay, I got my leg on, I got my outside gear pouch. Make sure they didn't deactivate my key. Now let's see if my car's still there, where I was directed to park it. And this is the space that was vacated just now, and this is another Burns crew mobile that was used to block my parking just now. Well, this evening earlier. So my car is still here, so I'm gonna go move it over to disabled friendly parking. Okay, so I am parked snug and secure in the remaining handicap-friendly parking area, and that's where the car is staying because fascist got a fash. You've seen on previous documentation videos where I'm talking about the issues I've had in registering the car, and the police have been accepting of that because I have been putting forth as much effort as I can. So for these cops to go out of the way and, you know, recreate the laws as they see fit, oh well, I'll just keep my car here safe and snug. Louie was telling the cops that they've been trying to have this car towed. They don't have to been trying to have this car towed. They could have just very easily called it in without even having plates or anything on it. It is an instantly tow-worthy, eligible, whatever vehicle. So this could have been removed months ago, and they just plain haven't done it because it's been more fun to bar me from disabled access parking. So, nice and locked and staying put, while this is still, you know, here. And get around the, there we go. And Burns's Goons have their truck, van, parked right here, right outside my window as part of the harassment campaign. So, yay for video. And as you saw in the video earlier today, the police were so kind as to help the landlady move this vehicle, which also has out-of-date plates, and the registration on those temp tags expires tomorrow. So I could have that dealt with. October 21, 2024, and today is the 20th. So, and that vehicle isn't even running. The cops pushed that Jeep to this spot as I caught on camera. So, while telling me that I can't operate my vehicle that's running and has a current title that's in my name, and this one's sitting here without plates at all, which is instantly eligible to be towed. And it's been sitting here for months because it's more fun to harass me and bar me from disabled access parking. So, since I'm out here, let's get a couple code violations. Alrighty. since I could only trim video at the beginning or end of a snippet, I started a new snippet for this. Okay, here's my home. Hi, Quokka, who's a good boy. And as you can see, there's an ill-fitting, broken screen that's kind of wedged into my window and affixed with nails. Let's see if we can also see from, okay. It's more visible on the inside, but this side of the window's been nailed in, so it doesn't move. The only part of the window that moves is this panel here that Quack is sitting right by, being such a good boy. And this is how all the units are, all of the, you know, nailed shut windows. And if they have a screen, they don't fit and they have holes all over. You know, I literally can't get out of here in a fire because the screens have been nailed into the window. You know, I can't slide this and get out of here. You know, it only goes literally this far. So in the event of a fire, if it's in the hallway, I'm stuck. So that's against fire codes. This door being set up this way with, you know, restricted access, that bars fire and rescue from getting into the building in the event of an emergency. And it also prevents tenants from getting into the building if they're not given access. This push bar door should be on the outside of the building, but as you can see, it's here, and it's defeated in such a way that it doesn't even latch. It's just swinging here, being useless, and blocking this door from opening, which also creates a fire hazard. So that's against code. They're all barking at me about, you know, mess with cats, which I clean up after. But here we've got this spattered mess that's been here for several months, where the tweakers like to party and shoot up their dope. And that's been like that. That's huge health codes. Some of it's blood, some of it's fluids, some of it's drinks. And I've covered the previous videos, the code violations at the front of the building where, you know, similarly it's locked and access is barred unless, you know, you have a key or you're told the passcode. So that bars fire and rescue. But for maintenance issues, this sink, as you can see from the tool marks on the faucet here, I had to fix this myself because it was jammed with sand from a plumbing breach that happened right around when I moved in. Plumbing blew, sand got in the works, and instead of doing anything about it, they're like, oh, run water, it'll flush out. Well, what it did was clog up the works instead of flushing anywhere. And so this drain I discovered was plugged after I fixed the faucet, and then the sink wouldn't drain. So I had to figure out how to disassemble this. Now I can't get it back together, but I cleaned this the best I could. I dumped a ton of Drano down there, and now the sink actually works. You know, I can't attach the plug, but the sink works. It drains really great. And if I pull the doodad behind the sink and push the little thingy down and kind of finagle it a whole bunch, it might actually plug when I need it to plug, sort of. It's as good as I could get myself with no plumbing training. Ooh, sounds like Louie's big Angie. Do you hear that slam? Okay. Further maintenance. The issue with the toilet, I'm going to put this off the side because I don't know if it flushed successfully last time. Okay, cool. It's not too embarrassing. Okay, here's the toilet. And attempting to flush the toilet yields mixed results. Usually it will stop running water as soon as you let go of the flush. And see, this is the other outcome, is that it'll start to flush, but then all it'll do is fill up the bowl, but it won't actually flush. So it might be a double or triple flusher to even, make urine and toilet paper go down. So now we would have to wait for the flush cycle to complete, and then we'll run it again. Shoot, man. That always takes forever to fill. So I'm going to move on to the bathtub. Okay, this bathtub, as you can see, has a really deep recess in it that's been this horrible rust stain. I have been scrubbing the ever-loving snot out of it, and you can see, where the scrubbing has had effect and made progress. The entire rust stain used to be this dark brown rust color. I have made extensive progress in the last 2 years. Every time I do my normal bathroom scrubbies, which is every time I bathe, because as you can see, the cats and, cat hair, cat debris, because they like to drink out of the puddle recess. So just pop that there for them. I just run them a little water and pop it there so they could forage water and feel all, self-reliant. This is the drain mechanism. As you can see, the button is fully down, which releases the drain and, lets it, release the water. It is almost impossible to get the button to stay down. It's usually in this mid-neutral position where it's kind of plugged, but kind of allowing water. In order to run a bath, you're supposed to, pull it all the way up, and it's supposed to stay there, but it goes down to this neutral position. It may or may not hold bath water, which I'll demonstrate when there's not a moo kitty foraging water. So now that she's foraging water and the toilet's done running, let me attempt this flush again. You flush it, and and you flush it. It actually runs a flush, which usually, as I said, it stops the flush cycle as soon as you release the button. So when flushing the toilet, I have to hold the button down for the entire flush cycle until it drains all the water and starts refilling, until it gets to this stage here. So I'm gonna stop the snippet for now. You can see how much Drano I've needed to. I've been dumping so much down the sink and the tub. Well, while we're waiting for the toilet to fill back up. The tub takes forever to drain. When I'm done in the bath, I start to release the water, which requires fiddling with the button. It's supposed to stay down, but it doesn't really, so you gotta kind of mash it, and now it's actually down, so now the tub will actually drain. If I move around too much, the button will flip back up and water will stop draining. So I have to set the drain to release the water as I begin shaving and climbing out and drying off. The tub isn't empty again until after I've finished brushing my hair, which I'll show you later tonight because I do need to take, my daily bath. So, okay, now that this has quit running again, hit the flush, and that's what usually happens. And I hit the flush and it doesn't. So usually I need to hold it. As you can, there's no resistance here, but usually it just pushes right back up. So I have to hold it, and now it's done flushing, and now I release, and that's the only way to actually guarantee a flush in here. This space under the sink at the entryway was where I was keeping the litter boxes until the endless complaints and harassment about it. where else are you going to put a litter box except for on hard floor? So you really don't want to put it on a carpet for obvious reasons. And so this is the limit of my tile floor here, just barely at the entranceway. And as you can see, this area isn't any bigger than the whole room that I was offered at the terrace. And so, you know, this is where I used to have the litter boxes, but with the endless harassment, because it's directly by the door, you know, I had to move the cat boxes. And Quokka, the friendly little goofball who you saw in the window, likes to redecorate the floor because he's ambitious when he scoops sand. So this is exactly why you don't want litter boxes on the floor, on the carpet floor. But I don't have that option because Louie and his goons. So I had to move them to the opposite end of the room by the window where if it's safe to get fresh air, I can allow fresh air and circulation into here and make it nice, or at least livable. But this is the best case scenario for my litter boxes. Big shout out to my friend Brenda. This vacuum I'm borrowing from the motel where I'm hopefully trying to restore the poor place for Reverend Tiger. But back here is my lovely, awesome, nice new vacuum that my friend Brenda connected me with. She scored this at a estate sale. And so I still owe her 20 bucks for this because my social security got super hacked. So I'll give her nice presents if I don't make nice money. We'll work it out. Brenda's really cool. I don't want to stiff her on nothing. And this Oric vacuum is amazing. You've seen my floor in previous videos. And, you know, this is, you know, after 3 days of not being able to have time to vacuum. And, you know, it gets really clean when it's allowed to be. You know, you can see when it's cleaned up after because Quokka likes to redecorate the floor. But, you know, I would much rather scrub a tile floor than have to clean the carpet. But I can't have the cat boxes on the tile floor because fascist's gonna fash. So, okay, well, we had discussed the windows, but I couldn't really give you a good view earlier. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Let's see if I can find where it is on my finger, and then, there's, okay. This screw right here is not holding the window frame together, it's holding the window down into the frame, making this side of the window completely immobile. See if there's another one down this side. No, it's just this one screw right here, which, you know, I would need a power drill to hopefully liberate. So this is against fire code because, you know, with this window being only openable enough, this is, oh God, that is the limit to how far that window can open, and I can't move or remove the screen without destroying it. So it's stuck. So if there's a fire out in the hallway, I can't safely leave my place, let alone get my cats out. So that literally makes this room a death trap. Burns had one of his maintenance people put these screws in all of the windows in the building to prevent people busting in, you know, etc. But, you know, that's what these latches are for. You latch your windows, and then you can't open them. And now it's latched, and it's secure, and there's no break-ins. So this bit of redundancy actually endangers our lives in a fire. Moving on. You can see where that white strip of paint is on the weird model splotch sponge job. This strip of white cover paint, that's covering weather damage and mold growth. As you can see from the seams of the wall trying to separate off of the ceiling, this has suffered extensive water damage. It's all bloated and no longer in shape of, you know, how it was made. It's barely attached. And then I'm gonna finagle myself around here. at the way top, zoom in, here we go. You can see where the mold growth has escaped the cover paint, and it's all starting to grow along that corner there, and you know, spots up there. Those dark spots up there aren't sponge paint. At the way top where the wall meets the ceiling, that's literal mold growth. And then you can see water damage, you know, directly from the roof through to in my ceiling there. And there's also electrical issues. This light socket, only 2 of the sides work. You literally cannot get a third bulb to light in there. That socket is broken. And anytime that the micro fridge, that believe it or not, this fridge looks better than it did when I moved in. I don't know what has fused to the outside of the fridge. Well, this looks like glitter slime, but I don't know what kind of food debris was on this thing before I moved in, but it looks believe it or not, better than it did. You see, this that used to look like that. I've been making progress. But gosh, your arthritis only scrubs so hard, I guess. I don't know what fused to this. It is not coming up. But in either case, whenever this fridge kicks on, you know, for its next cooling cycle, or whenever the heater air conditioner kicks on for its next cooling or heating cycle, and thank goodness it does both. You can see here, heat off, fan and cool, high-low fan, temperature settings. This unit is the greatest climate control unit that I've ever had in a residence. It's the only thing that's good in here. The only problem is, you know, one of the knobs was missing. But hey, lucky for us, it's interchangeable. Ta-da! So, I'll put that back on there, close that back up so the kitties don't mess with the settings. So, yeah, I'm trying here. The room was supposed to come with the TV. It did not. I needed to get a TV because I had a little kid who was going El Nutso. You know? So it's like, I had to get a TV to keep him occupied and happy and busy. And for outlets here, there's this. And under, I scored that computer table. I curb scored that. So there's that outlet and that outlet. And I'm trying to get the heck up out of here, y'all. Sorry about the boxes. And that outlet right there. So that's the only electricity, you know, outlets in the whole place. So you can see why I've got everything on a 6-strip, because I literally need to. And that's my mattress I had to get for my kid, because I told him I needed a room with 2 beds, and he gave me a room with, you see this rectangle spot on the carpet where there's supposed to be a bed? Yeah, well, okay, that was a cat puke spot that I started to clean this morning. I'll clean it the rest of the way when I get that far. But yeah, there used to be a bed here. There wasn't when I moved in. And so my kid had nowhere to sleep. You know, so with his trade behaviors, I couldn't really let him sleep on the queen bed because I would have had to replace the queen bed. And so he was on the pull-out mattress until I could get this one from Amazon, which I kept the plastic on because of his trade behaviors. You can probably guess. So this mattress belongs to me. It's the one that my kid was using, and when I get moved up and out of somewhere, I'll be able to take off the plastic. Because scrub as I might, plastic don't come as clean as it needs to. But anywho's, as the climate control and the refrigerator kick on their next cycle, the lights will blink, the electricity will go haywire, the microwave sometimes shuts off and goes 12 o'clock, or blank clock. And there was a period of time where it wasn't even keeping time, and I had to set cook settings to like 4 times as long as normal because it just wasn't heating the food. So another big shout out to Brenda, the same nice lady who hooked me up with the awesome Auric. And Brenda, super awesome friend, thank you. But she told me that with my microwave doing that, this one does belong to Burns though, the TV's mine. But the microwave, she told me to unplug, leave it a few hours, and then plug it back in. And, you know, I should be able to have a proper working microwave after that. And she was right. You know, of course, she would know. So big shout out to Brenda for saving the microwave and providing me with a sweet vacuum cleaner. So yeah, this one I borrowed it to test it to see if it actually works for the motel in Shelby. I had to fix it. It was so clogged. It works like a champ now. It's great. But the nice Auric from Brenda is literally still better, and it's as old as I am. Ah, the 80s. I knew there was another thing I had to show with the refrigerator. The functionality of the size of the refrigerator. If I get a pizza from Pizza Hut, which is the only pizza place around here, except for the nice one next door that's super expensive because it's a mom and pop shop, so he has to charge because he doesn't have corporate backing. Anyway, if I get a pizza from Pizza Hut or from over at the Nice Neighbors, I can't store the leftovers. I need to repack onto a plate or something. I can't do a buy one, get one on nothing. I can't even stash a gallon of milk in here, bro. So this isn't like a strictly maintenance law thing, but how do you expect it to be livable?